What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to a rather disappointed, angry, frustrated, but determined match reaction. Let there be no mistake, let there be no misgivings. Fire Arne Slot today, get it done. We can sit here and list off the reasons. We can go through the defensive frailties. We can go through the weak mentality. We can go through the formation, the tactics, and everything else. But ultimately, the heart and soul is gone out of this team. It is lifeless, it is empty, and it is devoid of any optimism for the fans. Once again, as soon as any team sniffed a little bit of weakness, we collapse. We have gone life and death again at home to relegation fodder Burnley. We have dropped points at home to Leeds. We've dropped points away to Leeds. We drop points against teams we should be swatting away. And with all due respect to Burnley, they don't belong on the same pitch as us when we're doing our thing. Burnley came and did their part, and fair play to them. But from our perspective, be under no disillusionment. This manager needs to go. This board needs to grow a pair. And us fans need to have our say. You deserve better. We deserve better. Everybody deserves better. It doesn't take guts not to sack a manager. It takes guts to do the right thing. It takes guts to get rid of somebody who is ripping the heart and soul out of a fan base and making people dread watching the team they love. That's where we're at. So we'll talk about it today. We'll talk about what may have been improved and we'll talk about everything else. But I wanted to open the stream with that. Be under no misconceptions. This manager needs to go. The unbeaten in 12 thing is an absolute joke. What we are is an embarrassment. What this team are right now is devoid of any confidence. And certainly not bringing in Mark Gay is looking more and more like a ridiculous decision as each second goes by. How does the market opportunity feel now, Mr. Hughes and Edwards, when Manchester City are gone out there and getting your defender for 20 million quid, when Coco the Clown's out there trying to score in his own goal and again not covering his man? How does that feel? Because I tell you how it feels for us fans. It feels disappointing, it feels frustrating, but ultimately it feels all too familiar. That's the problem. This feeling feels all too familiar. We've been here, we've seen it. Unbeaten in 12 is a fallacy. Fire him. Nessie said, next step or first step, sack Slot. Get Xavi, Van de Ven, Diamande in, they get it, said XX Spider. Slot, Gakpo and Canade blow my mind with how terrible, how utterly terrible they are. Ownership must be smoking crack, thinking that performances will change while these three are here. Chris Thorne said the only positive I could draw, excuse the pun, is that the game wasn't live on TV in the UK. Well, I tell you what, at the end of that game, Burnley probably looked like they were going to win it. We did push on. I'm not trying to say we hadn't got them penned in, but the vulnerabilities were there on the counter again. Once again, we went into halftime leading, knowing if we keep a clean sheet, we win the game. We are playing Burnley at home and they've left with a point. Let that sit. You're defending Premier League champions with 450 million spelt in the window, with 2 transfer records broken, drew a home with Burnley again. Drawn to Leeds. Drawn to anybody that shouldn't be coming near Anfield and having any confidence of leaving with a point, and we're dropping them over and over again. Where is the ambition of this club? Fans don't want to scrape into the Champions League. Fans want to be winning the Champions League. Fans wanting to be winning the Premier League. This manager hasn't got it. He isn't cut out for it. It's not the job for him. Do your fucking jobs and fire him. I've fallen out of love with this, said Trupo Landscaping. Your man of the match poll is up, by the way. Frimpong, Wirtz, Kirkes or Ekitike are your options. We're becoming draw specialists. It's annoying, said VI Jokers. Sack Slot, get Alonso in. Simple as that. It's embarrassing. Look, let me just address the Alonso situation for a minute. Even if Alonso doesn't want to come into a job until the summer, sack Slot now. Look at Manchester United today. Look at the difference. Somebody coming in that at least their players fear, respect, or get that they understand what the meaning of playing with that badge is. That's what an interim can do. Steven Gerrard is not the man for the long-term future to manage this club, but nobody will tell me that he would not walk into that dressing room and immediately get more out of these players than this manager is. Ibrahim Konate should be sent packing tonight. Gone, bye, adios. How is not bringing in a centre-back even fucking feasible when our centre-backs are incapable of doing anything even resembling defending? Please, somebody, anybody tell me how not getting a centre-back makes any sense. Or how this makes sense. Unbeaten in 12 is an absolute fallacy. The truth is, we're falling away again. And this is a game we all looked at as a banker. An easy 3 points. And we couldn't do it. How many games have we performed this season? 3? So we've done well in maybe. We've had patches. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say that first half wasn't better. It was. We moved the ball quicker. We created more chances. But here's the key to me in all of this. When the first bit of resilience is needed, when the first crack starts to show in a performance, all too familiarly, we fall apart. We don't have the balls for the fight. That's the truth of it. It's all very well doing the right things, looking great, moving the ball when you're winning, when you're ahead. But when you equalise, where's that fire? Where's that determination? That's why you pay the money for the Virtus of this world, the transformational players. Nowhere to be seen. You can talk about chances, you can talk about going close. Ultimately, yet again, we sit here with a 1-1 draw. That's where we're at. All I can do is apologise. Because I'm sitting here talking to people who know we should see better than this. Who know we deserve better than this. Who are hurting exactly as much as I'm hurting right now. And it feels so bad that we all feel helpless. That we're at the mercy of people who hide in the shadows. That are nowhere to be seen publicly. That make these decisions. Arne Slot should be fired. Do it. Try to save the season. Show the fans you give a fuck. This isn't bravery. This is stupidity. I actually feel like crying. So hard to watch it, Aaron Jones. Stevie Boy said the club is a mess and Slot, Hughes and Edwards haven't got the balls to sack him. Tactics have been sussed for weeks and he refuses to change. Saw 12 unbeaten, 38 draws plus your bottom half. Get him out, Xabi in now, said Smirkle Plunky. Richard Hughes should go too, said Keith Roberts in the chat. Why are you polling a Liverpool man of the match? Got a Burnley player at least? It's the habit, mate, you know. There probably isn't a Liverpool man of the match, dude, and you're probably right. But it's a habit we do. And, you know, I'm with you, by the way. But it is what it is. Let me just read out some things here that are getting sent to me. So Arne Slot's Liverpool are still winless in the Premier League in 2026. Arne Slot's Liverpool, your defending champions, are still winless in the Premier League in 2026. 0-0 against Leeds. 2-2 against Fulham. 0-0 against Arsenal. 1-1 against Burnley. How much longer? Listen to the fan base. We talked about the feeling of disconnect before the game. That's where we're at. That's where the Reds are now. Nobody feels shocked by this. Nobody. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But shocked? How could you feel shocked? We've seen this happen over and over again. Owen White said, don't even want to watch anymore. Is Arne gone? Or till Arne's gone? Look, ladies and gents, if I can ask you a selfish favour, 2 things. 1, if you can, please do hit that subscribe button. But also, rather than sending a super chat, if you can help us by scanning that QR code or making a small donation to the GoFundMe for Adam to go defend his European MMA title, that would hugely mean a lot to us. That's scheduled to take place in Serbia next month. The MMA in Ireland is not a sanctioned sport, or isn't a funded sport by Sports Ireland. So this local young fighter, who is a defending European champion, a multiple-time Irish champion, and a World Championship runner-up, will be a UFC fighter someday. And your small donation can help make a huge difference to Adam and his career. So if you can give us some brightness today, please do that instead of sending a super chat. And again, thank you to our sponsors, Big Up. We will have another Big Up predictions game running for the Marseille game on Wednesday. That will open tomorrow and we'll walk you through it. To play Big Up, you need to be 18 or over. Scan the QR code, go over to bigup.com or download the Big Up iOS app. It's still too slow. He still has to go. Same crap, different day, said Robert Munger. Bocky LFC said, the moment this clown gets sacked, I'll celebrate like I've never celebrated. Wirtz is absolutely amazing, but French centre-back, when will he go? Gakpo too. Look, the Canade situation today is almost beyond comprehension to me. Within the space of 2 minutes, he nearly scored an own goal by going to clear the ball with the wrong foot. And then he absolutely just lets his man waltz through again. Doesn't get a block in. And Alisson absolutely didn't cover himself in any glory either, because he should have been doing better with that. The fact we're sitting here, let me run through some of the numbers for you. Possession, 73% for Liverpool. 32 fucking shots. 32, with 11 of them on target. Look at Burnley. 7 shots in the game, 1 on target, and they leave with a draw. Your manager, your head coach, is going to try and tell you we're unlucky, that we're constantly unlucky, that we are the most unlucky fuckers on the face of the planet Earth. Don't buy it. We aren't unlucky. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. We are wasteful, he is arrogant, and he isn't good enough. Look at those numbers. It's a disgrace. 724 passes, 125 dangerous attacks, 11 on target, 1 goal, 1 shot on target to defend, 1, and Burnley leave with a point. How many times have we had these conversations? Get Xabi now or wait for Enrique, said Josh Mealing. Look, mate, I don't know if Xabi's available, when he's available, whatever. But what I do know is they can sack Slot. And they can bring in an interim to at least put some fight back. You've seen Anfield again, fans leaving early. The fans don't have a connection to this coach. Don't let the Echo or anybody else that tries to write and fool you to tell you that there's this mad love affair, that they sing Arna's name. They're respectful of a manager who won us a league title. No more. They don't connect with the brand of football. They're fed up of it. Don't try and con the fans and treat us all for idiots again. Have the decency to call out the failings for what they are. Failings that need to be sorted. 1 minute, things are done the Liverpool way and we're about trophies and we're about domestic domination. The next minute, it's excuse after excuse. Do your jobs. Fire him. Wirtz makes me smile, at least, world class. Sacking Rubram saved my life. Slot can not stay, said Lucky. Slot shoots his load now. Got too early, got nothing left, said Gary Mackay. Baldy Copbite said, sack him now. Stayed up till watch this garbage. That 12-game unbeaten run is the most abysmal in history, yet the higher-ups will call it success. Rubbish. My only highlight was Wirtz, thought he was class again, and thank you, mate. Wirtz was brilliant, and it has been brilliant, and his goal was brilliant, but yet defensively, again, I can't get away from that stat, lads. 1 shot on target. 1. That's all we faced today. 1 shot on target, but that's all it took for Burnley to leave with a point. And again, as we said, Liverpool haven't won a league game yet this year. I know we're only into the 17th of January. We've played 4. 4 of them. 0-0 Leeds, 2-2 Fulham, 0-0 Arsenal, 1-1 Burnley. The only one of those you'd think anyway acceptable is a draw away at the Emirates. That's it. It's pathetic. Woke up early in Vancouver for this. My birthday is tomorrow, and all I wanted was a convincing win. Relegation threatened Burnley. I know, man. I know. And I feel sorry for you and all Liverpool fans that give up their time, show their love for the club. And like me, you're weak bills to this. Look, let's be honest about this. Life can suck for all of us at times. You're fighting with your missus. Bills are piling up. You're stressing about your kids, the safety, the future of your families. We've got all this normal stuff going on in our lives that we all deal with on a day-to-day basis. And football is our escapism. Football is that thing that gives us hope, that makes us smile, that takes us out of our day-to-day lives, and that lets us live vicariously through the superheroes that we support. We are the dreamers of dreams, but we aren't anymore. Those dreams are being trodden on week after week by a manager who comes out with nothing but excuse after excuse after excuse. A board that hide in the shadows and won't do their fucking jobs. And a fan base that ends up arguing with each other out of disappointment, bitterness and a lack of hope. That's where we're at. Speak up, have your say, get on social media, make your presence known. You deserve better. No one's asking for hate. No one's asking for vitriol. We can do this in a respectful way. Arnott deserves a thank you for a league title, but he also needs to be shown the door. Now is that time. Played well, but can have 32 shots and get one. Certainly first half, as I said, we moved the ball quicker. We were doing better things. There were moments. That game should have been buried. But unfortunately, you can look at it in its singularity and think it's a game where we were unlucky, or you can look at it as part of a bigger picture where this has happened multiple times. And that's where we are as fans. Somebody watching this game in isolation today might say Liverpool were unlucky. Liverpool did everything but win the game. But as fans who watch it every week, we know differently. We know that this wasn't a game in isolation. This was a game in a situation that we've seen play out many times. We've won 5 Premier League games since September, said Oliver. 5. Lucky said very positive for Wirtz. He's settled now. Yeah, he's been brilliant, mate. No denying that. Fair play. Can't argue with you. He's been top notch. Expect a low block excuse from Slot. Look, ultimately, look at the stats again. And I said this last week, by the way. And I probably said it the week before. Every time Liverpool play a game of football, look at the ratio of shots on target to shots. It's abysmal. Today we had 32 attempts at goal. 11 on target, scored 1. They have 7 shots, 1 on target, and go away with a draw. Anfield booing. 5-1 out of 17 in the league. There just is no excuse, lads. There isn't one. The window's open. They refuse to go and back the squad and improve it. We're falling away. And on a day where Manchester United fans seeing Michael Carrick come in and introduce a bit of fire and passion back into their team, we have to watch as Arne Slot goes out there with an abundance of talent, with transfer breaking signings, and draw 1-1 with Burnley. That's where we're at. Can't wait to hear about the low block, set piece and unbeaten shite from Arne in the presser. So, Anfield Edition posted, Liverpool have 5 wins in their last 17 Premier League games. 18 points from 51 available. By the way, let me say out loud, thank you Anfield Edition for that post. Credit them. Go give them a follow on X. But let's see that again. Because this is a damning statistic. And saying 5 wins in 17, it's the second part of this post that I want to give them the credit for. 18 points from 51 available. That isn't even close to acceptable, folks. 18 points from 51. Bill C, thank you, mate, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Dingsbro said, this jersey holds very high expectations. If the board won't hold them, we must, as a fan base, take it out boards and hand it into ours. So, ladies and gentlemen, I asked you earlier on, before the game started, what, if any, the legacy of our channel may be over the course of history, and when I hang up the microphone. And I've said to you that I firmly believe that the legacy of our channel and our community will be that we have given a voice to people to question the status quo, to attack the journalists who are talking shit, and I mean attack them with comments, not physically, to stand up for a fan base, and to challenge the narratives that you know are false. If this channel has done nothing else over its 7 or 8 years, I hope it's done that, because I'm so proud to start to see more people stand up and feel comfortable questioning the narrative, pushing back, demanding more, speaking up. I'm proud of them. And I'm proud that we've played a small part in it. But keep doing it. Keep speaking up. Because whatever narrative they're trying to push down your throats, you aren't idiots. You know what you're looking at. You know your football. You know your club. And this run is unacceptable. It is simply unacceptable for any era with any manager, let alone one coming off the back of a Premier League title winning season with a huge backing. It's pathetic. I bloody love you, Craig. Hearing you crash out makes me feel a tiny bit better. We're poor. Slot needs to go. Something needs to happen now. Bless you. All our league opponents coming up probably can't wait to play us because of a guaranteed draw at the moment. I don't know if that absolute clown's aimed at me, Jessica, but if it is, I'd like, I don't know. Maybe I am a clown, Jessica. I don't know. But what I do know is it hurts. Someone said, Craig, how's this dramatic? I don't know how you feel this isn't dramatic. It's yet another 3 points that we've somehow managed to find our way to win in a game. And on the league opponents thing, we have to go away to Marseille and try to win on Wednesday if we have any hope of getting into the top 8 in the Champions League. And I'm not exactly brimming with confidence now that we can go and do that. Liverpool have failed to win all 3 of their home games against newly promoted sides in a league season for the first time since 1980 or 1981. Again, I'll read that out to you. Liverpool have failed to win all 3 of their home games against newly promoted sides in a league season for the first time since the year I was born in 81. My whole lifetime, we've never not beaten 3 promoted sides at home. Arna, another record there for him. On top of the most losses in a calendar year. On top of being the first manager to oversee 3 defeats in a row by 3 goals or more. It isn't a debate. It should never have been a debate. Fire him. Pointless crosses, no one there. Slow stop, said Cornish Chuff. The results were expected. We're not playing as good as a team. To be honest, I was relieved with the draw. Burnley could have scored. So the fact, Tim, that you expected the results, isn't that in itself, mate, though, a sad state, that you're going into a game against Burnley not surprised by not getting a result out of it. I think Slot Canade should go now. Fan for 55 years, said Andrew Jemison. Thank you, Andrew. Madeni, member with us for 25 months. Thank you, bro. Said Slot relies on magic moments to win. Clueless. So sick of these draws. We're incapable of winning, said Keith Seary. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to submit your player ratings, scan the QR code in the bottom corner there, and that will bring you to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. That's where Connor posts the link for you to post your player ratings. You'll also find the link in the description of this stream. No, like Eli said, Alonso will get us doing the hard yards again like we did on the Klopp. Ironically, it's what got him sacked at Madrid. Vini and Mbappe wouldn't do it. I agree. Look, I'm not saying Arne Slot doesn't instill a professional mentality or professional standards on the training ground. I'm just saying the job's not there for him at the minute. He can't recover this. Larry Leach said, Slot has to go. Defensively, we're rubbish, and yet again we failed to get the centre-back we wanted. Failed to react and get Gay when he's available. Yep. Wasn't a market opportunity, was the line that we're being fed, mate. Liverpool didn't view it as a market opportunity. Roman Kemp, speaking of Cave Solokol yesterday in the Premier League show, said they were talking about the Mark Gay situation, and they said Liverpool know Canada is not going to renew or is unlikely to renew. So basically we've got a centre-back that doesn't want to be here, that'll be off. Our captain, who's 34 and getting on, an injured Leone who's been out for the season, and Joe Gomez, who the club wanted to sell. And our club think that that's okay. 5 centre-backs in since 17. Some of them were Ozan Kabak, Ben Davies. I mean, this is your club. This is where we are. This is so far from the season of domestic domination and European attacking football that we're supposed to be seeing. And yet they still won't pull the trigger and fire the manager? Come on now. Glass cannon of a team, said Cole. The brakes are just too slow. We missed Diaz big time. But we did need to replace Diaz. So again, I want to read you out something from yesterday. And I need to read it out in 2 parts. No, Craig, you are not the clown. I'm really not sure about getting into Champions League next year. Top 3 on the table. Moving a bit further away. Next week's Bournemouth at Bournemouth. I know, mate. And Newcastle at Anfield. So, 2 things caught my eye yesterday in one particular piece. And one of them was a comment on the Echo to an article. And the piece of the article that they're commenting on, I need to read out to you. It says, the Echo understands Liverpool do not regard signing Gay this month as a market opportunity compared to last September and this coming summer, and are thus unlikely to change their stance in a late effort to gazump City. Now, the reason I read that out to you is because the reaction to it and the comment to it is absolutely perfect, and it's from a guy called Tommy Dowling. And Tommy wrote, what is this nonsense? He was a market opportunity at £35 million when we had 4 fit centre-backs, but is not at £20 million when we have 3. The way this club insults the fans' intelligence is staggering. Even worse than pretending they didn't have to replace Diaz because they didn't want to block the pathway of a child who was never going to play. He ain't wrong. But again, that's the narrative and the nonsense that we're being fed to try to cover up for the failings that we're seeing. Madrid should take him, Barca would destroy him, said Lucky David. Ger Burke, thank you, mate, for being around with us for a month. Appreciate you. The money corrupt system is killing the game, unfortunately, like other sports out there, said VI Jokers. Motorhome Dreamer said, fans on local radio here in Merseyside are fuming, Craig. Good. Look, Liverpool fans aren't idiots. Liverpool fans know their football and they know what they're seeing isn't good enough. Do you agree our attackers simply aren't good enough? Miles off with the old Mane, Salah, Bobby. It depends on what you mean. Ekitike is good enough. It's impossible to really have a say on Isak yet because we haven't really seen him. Salah's season has dropped, but yet we don't know why. And he's been away. And on the left-hand side, we didn't replace Diaz, and that's absolutely biting us in the arse. So it's hard to really say whether the attackers are good enough or not, when some of them we have question marks over, but I don't think there's enough of them. And that's what I would say. He's not bringing in a replacement on either side to give competition to Salah or to challenge Gakpo when you know Rio isn't going to get enough minutes. And how is this helping Rio's development? Coming on trying to have to rescue a game again at 17 years of age and 75 minutes when the defence is shit to bed again. Nessie said, Liverpool have failed to beat any of the 3 promoted teams at Anfield this season. My good evening, yet again ruined by Slot and his football. Carl said, I agree with you with everything you're saying, but that game you were just unlucky. Today, look, I can get that. Genuinely, I can. There is more than an argument to say that on another day, that could have worked and we would have won. I absolutely understand and appreciate where you're coming from on that. But that would have to take this game on its own merit and not talk about the bigger context of the greater picture. So fair play, Carl. You know, you and I often put heads on a few things, but yeah, maybe today we were unlucky. But we've been unlucky a lot, haven't we? And, you know, ultimately when you stack it up like we've said, the points and the points tallies just aren't there and they aren't good enough. Stephen Gerrard, speaking, said, draws with the likes of Leeds and Burnley at home. You know, I know that's not acceptable because it's not acceptable. Klopp's 8-year tenure meant we avoided the new spreadsheet stats and soundbite coaches. Now we're firmly part of that purgatory. Save us, Jurgen, said Page. Roshi said, first half of the season, same old dross in the second. Slot's halftime talk was clearly to slow the tempo, control the ball, just out. Just some dude said, how Ibu didn't get subbed is crazy. Anybody with eyes can see that he needed to happen. Something needs to change. Josh Mealing said, he'll have the Brighton game. If he go out of the Champions League, FA Cup and drops lower league for him. That's how I see it. The damage is already done, though, at that point, Josh, isn't it? Now, I'm not saying you're wrong, mate, because the truth is, I don't know. But the damage is already done then. We still have a chance to save something from this season. And we can't even contemplate not winning games to get into the Champions League. It's almost unfathomable to think that. But the fact that we're even trying to square that off as acceptable isn't good enough. Because this season was supposed to be about so much more. So here's a quote from the manager. Not for the first time, usually frustrating, come in different fashions. Sometimes we score an extra time, concede another an extra time. We played this type of game quite a lot. We've become a team that was a bit more careful in conceding and made it harder to create. So now we're being too safe, according to Arna. We're being too safe. Cool, Arna, come on. He doesn't need a shovel because he'd keep digging that hole himself. So we struggled to create. 32 shots, 11 on target. We struggled to create though. We're just unlucky. That's all it is, lads. Don't bother getting angry. We're just unlucky. Arna's told us so. There's that. 2 wingers, 1 DM, 2 centre-backs, and we'll be back. You forgot one really important thing there, bro. And a new manager. Feck Aldo saying slot in. Feck him to Lucky David. Arna should have been sacked in September, said Trooper Landscaping. Slot and Hughes out, both useless, said Lee Duffield. Dingo Florida says his public criticism of players is a big problem. And thank you, sir, for 2 years with us as a member. Chris said, saw United lifting balls across the box from distance, saw their counter-attack, begged that Arna would open interest in tactics, that he would put ego aside and take no. Leagues changed from a fellow club in the UK, top man, keep the head up. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Look, here's the really interesting part, Chris, and as you said, you're a United fan, so you probably don't know the ins and outs of our club as well as you do your own. There was a piece either from the Echo or the Athletic that spoke about our training camp in Hong Kong and Japan, where we were working on set piece stuff, long throws, all this stuff that has now become a staple of the Premier League. And in this piece, it said that Liverpool ripped up that playbook halfway through the pre-season, decided that they needed to go in a different direction. And then we come into a Premier League season that has been the most set-piece laden probably in modern history. And we're unprepared for it. So then he hires an analyst as the set-piece coach. And when our set-pieces remain shocking and we concede from it, throws him under the bus and Aaron Briggs gets fired. But Arna, still here. Craig, where do we even go from here? I don't know, man. So, Chris Williams, another journalist, said, I've been a backer saying he should get time. He's had it. No different than November, October or September. Needs to go. The side aren't doing anything with his setup and especially his man management. Thank you for last season. Thank you eternally, but it's gone as far as it can. Spot on. Spot on. And that's it. It doesn't have to be toxic. It doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be bitter. But it does have to be done. And as Chris Williams said, and I want to sincerely appreciate this post from Chris. Thank you for last season. Thank you eternally, but it's gone as far as it can. He ain't wrong. But once again, you know, when we talk about these things and when we come out and say the our community gets mocked for it and ridiculed by others, we get called toxic just for daring to say what we're seeing. And I'm glad others are starting to see it now. And I understand that some people needed a little bit more time to get to the point where they knew it wasn't good enough. But it is not good enough. And it needs to be done. And hopefully, when we're back on here tonight for the late night agenda, it has been done. The low block of the opposition is down to us not moving the ball fast enough from back to front. It's also strange that we got ahead in games and then go into this false sense of security, give up a goal. At 2-0, we can't feel comfortable. At 1-0, we obviously can't feel comfortable. At what point as Liverpool fans do we get to feel comfortable with leading in the game? Because I can't figure it out. Arne Slot on the boos at full time. In my head, it wasn't booing, but frustration. We're Liverpool and we play Burnley. We have to give credit to. We're disappointed by this, then if we're not disappointed by this, then something's wrong. I'm the same, but the players have the same frustrations as the fans. Really, Arna? Because when the fans that paid their hard-earned money in their working class jobs wake up tomorrow morning to go to work again at 5, 6 o'clock in the cold, to go out there to look after their families, they don't at least have millions in a mansion to go home to make themselves feel a bit better. When the people that you say you feel the same frustrations as, when they get fired from their job, they don't walk into another one with another multi-million-pound contract. So you'll have to excuse me if I think that you feel the same and hurt the same as the fans. The players, perhaps. But come on. Stop with the bullshit. Take some fucking responsibility and man up. If you had anything about you, you'd fall on your sword and leave. But you're too stubborn, too arrogant to hand in your resignation. You ain't fit for this job. It's moved past you. Do the decent thing. Hand in your resignation. Fall on your sword. Go with some dignity. I'm astounded by Slot. He's taken us backwards. When is enough, mate? You want my honest answer now? I think we're close. I think we're close. We talk about tipping points. My one was Nottingham Forest at home. That was my personal tipping point. I'd gone one way and the other back and forth, but that was my tipping point. Today feels like another one where the fans are being pretty clear now. And once the fans start to make it be known, he's gone. I can't. I'm going to make a claim here that I can't back up. It's just a gut feeling. I think he's gone by the end of next week. That's my feeling. Now, again, please don't take this as inside information. I don't have any. But that's my gut feeling, is that this is, again, a step too far. The match fits into the pattern. I'm tired of Slot, boring and harmless. Should have been replaced already. Hughes and Edwards as well. Right, let me get through some of these. James Pearce has said, Slot has to change this. Liverpool has lost their way alarmingly. Slot should have been out of sight. Hey, James! Same fucking James Pearce that said this. By the way, James, because I've got the fucking receipts, bro. You better believe it. Same James Pearce that said, those with short memories and little patience who were calling for change have been muted as Arne Slot has breathed new life into a managerial reign which had veered so alarmingly off course. How about that, Jimmy? How about that, bro? Where's that fucking arrogance now? Huh? Where's your arrogance now? Those with short memories. Fuck you! People like you allow this to happen. People like you that paper over the cracks for the club allow this to happen. Where's that arrogance now, Pierce? When all of a sudden now you've decided this is enough. Because what? Those that play the tune that you dance to maybe have decided it. How about a bit of fucking integrity? How about a bit of honesty as a fan? And call this out as not good enough. Drop the arrogance. We're all sick of it. You, Doyle, Gorst and all these other arseholes telling us all how we should feel. Telling us all what the Liverpool way is. Telling us all what you've been briefed. We're not idiots. We see through it. The manager isn't good enough. You fucking knew it then and you know it now. Only now you've changed your tune. Bit fucking late. The damage has been done. Grow a pair. I used to have immense respect for that man. Immense respect. Until he started posting stuff that we know to be absolutely untrue. How do you say we're not going to sign a goalkeeper when every man and his dog knew that Georgi Mamardashvili was coming in the door? Even on Mark Gay, it's his dream move, was delayed, not denied. Will be a Liverpool player sooner or later, whether it's January or the summer. How'd that work out, James? Those with short memories. How the fuck did that work out, James? So yeah, those with short memories, James. It ain't us, mate, with the short memory. It's you. You and those that allow this. You and those arrogant arseholes that look down on the rest of us and tell us what it feels to be a true Liverpool fan. I'm sick of it. We're all sick of it and we all see through it. We're not idiots. Don't treat us like it. He won't get sacked until we're out of the Champions League. He won't get Champions League or take us to the final. I will keep him. If he starts the season poor, he'll be sacked. He should be gone. End of. Oh, I've done all of it. I'm done with Ian Doyle, the Arsenal fan, telling me how to feel. You know, the same lad who was saying that Liverpool fans want to be like Chelsea and Manchester City. I'm done with all of them. All of them. Covering the club's arse. Just so that they can get access. Just so that they can stay in the fucking favourite list. I'm done with it. They need to be called out because they are part of the problem. Make no mistake about it. More and more fans are starting to see it and speak up. More and more fans are going to keep doing it and speaking up. Because one thing that we are not are idiots. One thing that we are not are gullible arseholes. If you're going to report on our club, do so openly and honestly, or don't bother. Don't bother calling yourself a journalist, just call yourself part of a PR machine. Because there is no objective reporting there. It's again just more fucking arrogance and looking down your nose at the rest of us. Do you remember when Rodgers got sacked? He didn't even make the presser. He was gone by the text message, yet everyone's waiting for him to speak. I'm sorry I get this angry. but I see it over and over and over again. Fans start to speak out against something that they're not happy with, and they get shouted down. They get told they're toxic. They get told they're not serious people. They get told they're a problem, until eventually that movement grows and more people see through the bullshit. How are you going to write with a straight face in the Echo that Liverpool don't see Mark Gay as an opportunity in January, a market opportunity? How are you going to write that with a straight face and tell us that we want them for free in the summer and we're willing to pay 35 million? Not journalism. PR. That's all it is. And I'm so sorry that I keep coming on here and shouting. And I keep coming on here and getting into these outbursts. But I know you deserve better. I know you deserve better representation than those people that cover our club a lot of the time. And I'm not talking about every journalist. There are great journalists in football. Henry Winter, Miguel Delaney, David Ornstein. Good fucking journalists. What we get are happy clappers. Club PR merchants. Nothing but an extension of the media mouthpiece of the club that get rewarded with jobs in the future or either had jobs there in the past. Let's be honest about it. There's a reason fan content has taken off. It's because there's honesty in it. It mightn't be perfect. It mightn't be professional. But my God, it's honest and it's from the heart. Pierce has gone from a reporter to a stenographer. I don't know, lads. I don't know. Look. I'm going to go try to calm down. And I'm going to record the player ratings video. I'll be back here tonight for the late night agenda at 8:30. I hope you can come and join me, because we'll have a lot to talk about and a lot to get off my chest. No doubt the same little journalists will be threatening me with the police again, like they did before, because I dare call them out. Go ahead. Do whatever the fuck you want to do, because hiding behind others is all you seem to be able to do. So I'll be back here tonight and we'll talk about this, and hopefully by then he's sacked. But if you'd like to submit your player ratings, you can do so by joining the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. The QR code's on the screen. Appreciate you all. Love you to bits.